What's that?
Good morning. Welcome to What's Brewing at Palm Beach Tech. I'm Joe Russo, the Executive Director of the Palm Beach Tech Association. And I'm here with Clay Williams, the founder and CEO of the Achieve Agency, which is our neighbor here at Palm Beach Tech. Good morning, Clay.
Good morning, Joe. Thank you.
And as we do every morning here, for the second morning in a row, we're going to talk about the top 5 news stories of the week, and we're going to learn a little bit about Clay and what he does. So why don't you kick us off? Why don't you tell us a little bit about Achieve and what you do day to day here?
Sure. So Achieve Agency is a research and marketing agency for causes. So in our world, causes are more than just nonprofits. It could be a movement. It could be a business that uses cause as a strategy to help promote their organization, or is just passionate about a cause, or is interested in getting employees engaged in a cause. So we do everything from research, academic quality research, to campaign strategy, full service campaign services, web technology and website design, and that sort of thing. So,
how long have you been in business here?
We started Achieve actually started as a different company about 18 years ago now, in 1999, and transformed over time, and many tech companies do. We pivoted a number of times, became very focused on the nonprofit and cause markets about 10 years ago, and through a series of other changes, we are here where we are today.
And the story I always like to tell is you guys actually started at Starbucks about a block away from where we are now.
We did, as a matter of fact. So I was trying to recruit my partner at the time to work for another company that I had started some time before that. And we got on a conversation and was interested in doing that type of work. Was really interested in the internet. Long story short, we had a customer of that business that needed a data-driven website built back in 1999. We couldn't find anyone to do it, so we started a new company, and that was our first contract.
And you know, we talk all the time about the things that are going on in Palm Beach County today in technology. Did you imagine what we have here today in 1999? And did you even really see some of this stuff coming to fruition?
It's come a long way for sure. Back then, like I said, we had trouble finding. We were a network services company back then, and we had trouble finding someone who actually built software for the internet back in 1999. Now, if you put out an RFP, you'd probably get 20 bids right here in the northern Palm Beach County area. So it's definitely come a long way, and we're hoping to see it grow even more.
And on that note, too, you know, some of the news coming out of Palm Beach County last week actually was very much along the lines of companies growing from, in ways you wouldn't imagine. And that goes to our top 5 news stories of the week. And number 1 is Candidate.Guru, a startup out of FAU Tech Runway, where Clay was part of the original mentor team there. Candidate.Guru acquired Elevated Careers from actually eHarmony.com. So they had their own matching service for companies and employees, believe it or not. And they made their first acquisition as a startup.
That's great to hear. They were actually in one of the first couple of classes at Tech Runway at FAU. I had the privilege of working with Chris down there, their CEO. Great concept. It's a big data play, which is pretty sophisticated. And they're looking at enterprise level HR solutions. So it's super exciting to see them doing so well.
Yeah.
And I think they've gone through 2 rounds of funding, and to hear them actually picking up other assets is amazing.
Yeah, the fact that Boca Raton is getting some key startups these days is pretty awesome. That actually goes to another company, too, that made some big news last week, Boatsetter. This is one of those companies in the boat sharing space. We all hear car sharing. Boatsetter raised $4.75 million and then acquired its competitor Boatbound, which actually expands their user base exponentially. And they're based here in South Florida. They have an office. Their main office is in Aventura. They have a Palm Beach County office as well. But we see a lot in that marine industry space here in South Florida, and that's something. Anytime you make a splash like that, pun intended.
That's exciting. Yeah. This is one of those ideas I wish I had. So I always said, living close to the water in South Florida, that owning what the 2 best days in a boat owner's life are the day you buy it and the day you sell it. So I always tried to have a friend with a boat or a relative, and boat sharing is like a no-brainer. It seems like a great idea. People spend a lot of money on a boat that sits at a dock or on a trailer most of its life, so it makes a lot of sense. So
and for those that own a boat, you can put it on that site too and make some extra cash back on it too. Number 3 story is actually from the South Florida Business Journal. They did a cover story on modernizing medicine and how they beat the odds to basically employ, they have 600 employees now with another 850 something on the way. To basically say, hey, we're going to build a unicorn startup here in Florida. And at the time, I think Dan King was not trying to bite off more than he can chew, but now it's a behemoth, so to say. Dan's a great guy. We had the good fortune of working with him early in the first few years they had started. They've done an amazing job of growing that business. It's a great technology platform for the healthcare space. It's basically EMR system is very visually oriented, very easy for physicians to use. They've targeted a few key specialties, growing like crazy. At this point, Dan's kind of a serial entrepreneur. He was a principal of Blackboard, the big education company. We're excited for him to come down to South Florida and start a new venture. So. Interesting thing I find about Blackboard, which is an education technology platform for colleges. So you go into college, your chances are your records are on Blackboard in any college in the United States. I think they have like 97% market share. They actually get hacked more than most companies, or attempted hack more than most companies out there, because all the students are trying to get on to change their grades. And the few cases that they've actually had somebody actually get into the system, they turn around and they give off them jobs because they're like, how did you figure this out? We want you to tell us so you can make our platform better. But obviously Dan's done a great job with modernizing medicine. The next story number 4 is the Florida Venture Forum is actually coming to Boca to do something called the VentureTech Showcase, where they're going to bring in a bunch of startups and give away $25,000 right here in Palm Beach County. That's going to be actually during Global Entrepreneur Week on November 17th, I believe, a Thursday. And that's going to, again, we're talking about Boca Raton a bunch today. That's going to bring a lot of great things to Boca. It's November 16th actually, to get my dates right. And number 5 story of this week is we're going to have the Palm Beach Tech Meetup here this Thursday. Felecia Hatcher is going to come up from Miami. For those of you that don't know Felecia, Google her now. She is awesome. She's founded a couple companies, but most recently, the coolest thing that I think I couldn't have imagined doing this. She founded a nonprofit organization called Code Fever, which focuses on going into communities and teaching young women in these unfortunate circumstances how to code, teaching them technology and giving them a platform for the rest of their life and their career. It's actually pretty amazing what they do. And she's going to be up here on Thursday and talk about how we can lead our next generation into the role of technology.
It's fantastic to hear. So the world needs more tech people, and wherever we can find them, and opening opportunities to people that maybe didn't have those opportunities earlier in their career or in their education. It's fantastic. And
that actually goes to one additional point. You're hiring right now, aren't you?
Yes, we have a number of positions open. You can find them on our website, which is achieveagency.com. I think we're looking for, actually the big skill set we're looking for are Drupal developers, so themers, site builders, and particularly Drupal programmers. I believe we even have a Drupal architect position open. It's kind of a niche skill set, but we're growing fast and excited to bring on more people.
So if you know anybody that knows Drupal, if you know anybody that programs with Drupal, Clay Williams, Achieve Agency. We have the job postings on our site too, so achieveagency.com, but make sure you go over to palmbeachtech.org too. We're going to be sending out these news stories in our email this morning, so make sure you're subscribed to that if you're not, at palmbeachtech.org. And thank you, Clay, for coming downstairs and being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Have a great